We need a big win from a local club. You guys know, of course, every Friday, Corey Zelnick, real estate mogul, that's what his dad calls him, is in the studio, sometimes alone, sometimes with other people. Today happens to be the kosher guru himself, my dear friend Gabe Boxer, fresh off our trip from Israel. But Corey is a 20-year season ticket holder for the Knicks, and he's got seats on the court. He's right there. He's on the other side, on the same side of the court, but other side of Tracy Morgan and Spike and those guys, right?
Yes, it was just on that one occasion I was sitting with Tracy when he threw up on my foot.
On your foot, yes. Yeah. So you'll be there tonight. Look, it's very simple. We talked about it early this morning. As far as Lou and I are concerned, and we're smarter than most of you, let's be honest. Knicks need to win tonight. They win tonight, great. You're playing Indiana. We're playing Indiana. You lose tonight, you're not winning the series. That's it.
Yeah, no, look, it's very, very hard to disagree with Lou. You just can't disagree with Lou.
Corey, I have to interrupt because I'm getting messages, and I sent you some of them, said, when you were in Israel, you talked about the Knicks winning and that you're going to pray at the Western Wall at the hotel, and they won. The power of prayer and Sid's power worked.
It's true.
Sid, what about praying for the Knicks now, baby?
Well, last I checked, I'm nowhere near the Kotel in Jerusalem. Is there a wall in New York I can put a note in?
Hashem is everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you. Hashem is everywhere. Sid, he's listening. Let's go. If you want the Knicks to win.
Then I will pray to Hashem. Thank you, Gabe, that the Knicks win. But on a practical level, because Hashem's kind of busy these days. Maybe the Knicks aren't the very top of his list. You agree that tonight is basically a must win.
Yeah, it's a must win. Stephen A. actually, he hit it right on the head. He knows what he's talking about. The Celtics are playing like the old Celtics. Without Jason Tatum out there, they move the ball around. They're very talented. They're very deep,
and they can all shoot.
They can all shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
They're analytics driven, so they're going to keep shooting the three. They were terrible the first two games. They lost the first two games, and now they're coming back. So it's
he said on a concern meter, 10 being I'm freaking out, 1 being I'm not worried. He said it's an 8. Is that high?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow,
that's right because like you said, you lose this game. You got problems.
You're done. So you go tonight excited, but also like a little nauseous, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm nervous as though I'm suiting up.
Right. Of course. Well, you're a real fan. I mean, you're a Knicks fan, Gabe, right?
Of course, baby. New York born and bred.
I know, but there are a lot of people that live here that aren't necessarily enthusiastic fans.
No, I'm a Knicks fan, but what I'm hearing right now is you got to close down those 3-pointers. That's what I'm hearing from you, Corey.
I know, but that's the problem. Tibbs was a defensive-minded guy. It hasn't been showing up that much.
No, it hasn't. The defense last game was atrocious.
It was nowhere.
And a lot of those looks were wide open. Not like they're getting long rebounds off the back of the rim. They were just guys were just wide open.
Yeah, and not to get too inside baseball, but he came out playing a zone. I don't know how you play a zone against these guys.
Now, why did he do that?
I have no idea.
You can man up against that team.
No, but you have to man up against them.
The problem becomes Brown because Brown ate Hart, and I love Hart.
Yeah,
I love him. He's all Hart, and he's had a really good series. Even after suffering the eye injury, and he played well. But Brown ate him for lunch.
Yeah, look, Brown's the reigning MVP of last year's championship. The guy's a baller.
Right.
The only thing that makes him less of a baller at times is when Jason Tatum's on the court. And I'm not saying that necessarily as a negative, but this guy is a rock star. He's a top 10 player in the league.
It's true. Sometimes somebody else, when they're not there, that gives the other person to shine.
Absolutely.
And they do. So, Gabe, given the choice, if I gave you this choice, you could have tickets to sit next to Corey tonight, courtside Knicks and Celtics, or you can sit right by the first base line in the Bronx tonight, Mets and Yankees. Where you going?
I'm Shomer Shabbos. I'm staying home. This is ridiculous. I'm about to take A. I want B, and you guys are putting me in a conundrum. Because if I go public that I'm going to the game, I lose all street cred. My kids get kicked out of yeshiva. I can't show up to synagogue anymore.
Nice, right.
Sid, what are you doing to me?
I was leaving Israel, and I said, listen, we're putting on a big party for Danny Penny. Oh, I want to go. Next Friday night, I can't go.
Right.
What do you mean you can't go? Because I'm with him so often in Israel on the road, and I don't really pay attention.
Right.
But this trip, I paid attention. And Friday after dinner, he went to his hotel room. And Saturday morning, we were all getting up and eating, and he was on his way to shul. Like, you're a real Jew. Like a real Jew.
Sid, you're a real Jew also. But
No,
here's the
I'm
thing.
not like
I
you.
want those courtside seats, but I can't go tonight. What if I got to sleep in the city, get a hotel room, walk, meet him. I don't know, get scanned in. I'm trying to figure in my head how I'm doing this. Any way I look at it, I'm in trouble. Any other night, I'm with you courtside.
Any other night, there you go.
And then I still remember Sid got so mad at me in Israel. I made him walk from
So
the
mad.
old city on a Sabbath. He could have gone to a tax, everything else. You had to see him fuming, and his wife Daniels was, Gabe, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
He'll forgive you.
I wasn't that mad. No, first of all, I'm never mad at you. I love you like a brother. But it was Shabbos, and he won't take transportation, and he wanted me to walk from the Western Wall in Jerusalem to our friend Keeler Palak's house.
It's like 5 miles.
It's like 5 miles. It's like walking from here to Jersey. Okay. And my back is killing me, you know. Right. You got to climb up the stairs at the hotel. It's like, I was dying. I'm like, we can't do this. I did it. I wasn't all that angry. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the Knicks. The big day coming up Sunday. Will this mark the second year in a row that I walk the Israeli Day Parade with the kosher guru, Claudia Tenney? We love her, Justin, big-time congresswoman, and Thomas Kniff, the big-time attorney. But I've got Gabe Boxer and Corey Zelnick in studio. So Sunday's a parade. I'll turn the clock back 5 or 6 years ago. Our friend Heshe Orgenbaum says, I got great news. You're going to be an honorary Grand Marshal. Wow, it's a big deal. Back then it was, early in my New York career, and I wasn't fighting for the Jews every day, but I was honored. He said, yeah, you and Siggy Flicker. I didn't know her. Didn't even know her. Didn't even see her that day at the parade. She was with Cindy Groves. So I get there, and I'm all dressed up in a boot outfit. He dressed me. It's like 1,000 degrees out there. I'm wearing a vest, a jacket. I'm sweating bullets, sweating like Gabe Boxer taking the SATs. And the car pulls up, Josh Orgenbaum, this fancy convertible, and there you were, Corey Zelnick.
Well, it was fun. Our friendship has been blossoming all the way back, and so you were doing something. So I was proud of you. I'm Jewish, so I came down and I wanted to see you in a different light.
It was cool, it was early on in our friendship, which is now is a completely different level.
Yes,
but you were there. I never forgot that. And you, Gabriel, last year, when I was having difficulty finding somebody to march with because they all hate me because they're liberal Jews.
Who hates you?
Everybody hates me. So this Harley Lippman, he's a nice guy, Harley, and he must give a ton of money to, what is the organization?
I believe the one that hosts the parade is called the JCRC.
That's exactly right. It's Mark Traeger and the JCRC. So they make Harley Lippman, he's a great guy. He's the Grand Marshal every year. He's a Democrat. So I show up in front of the Starbucks right by the parade route, and I see this group of people, and I hated every one of them. And I go to Danielle, I go, I want to go home. You want to go home? My kids are there. I can't be with these people. They hate Trump. They're liberal Jews. I can't do it. And all of a sudden, I see this guy wearing a sport jacket with Jewish stars all over it. It's Gabe Boxer. It was like Hashem. He sent him to the rescue, and he said, down the block is Bruce Blakeman, Mazi Pillup, all the Nassau County people, come with us. And I did, and I had a great time. You literally saved me last year.
I did. I just happened to bump into you. We knew each other. We're friendly. Our friendship
him and I was very new, our friendship.
And at that time, our friendship was very new also.
Right.
Compared to where we are today and everything else. And I just happened to bump into him, like, say what's going on. You're like, save me. And I was there. Thank God, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman invites me to march with him this year. Mazi Pillup will be there, Lawrence Mayor Sam Nemayas, and, of course, the amazing group from the Nassau County GOP. I'm actually meeting them that morning. We're going to head down together, and you're always invited with us, and I hope that you're going to be marching with us on Sunday. And you're like, save him, like, Sid, what's going on? What are you doing? He goes, I can't march with Trump haters. I still remember that. And I'm like,
so
what Jew does not like Trump? Do you know what Trump is doing for the Jewish people, for Israel, even today, this whole week? And I know you've been talking about it and actually shining light on the truth of what is really going on. And he's playing chess. He's putting all the pawns in place for the Abraham Accords to grow. And listen, Trump has not stopped Israel from what they need to do and what they have to do in Gaza. Any other president right now with what they think would have been going on in the Middle East would have stopped them from trying to win the war.
Biden kept telling Bibi, don't go, stop it. Don't go into Rafah, cut up his weapon supply. Biden and Harris were the worst. Trump, he's working with Israel's enemies, not because he wants to, because he needs to make sure the region is okay, and he's making money.
Well, besides that, we elected Trump as the president of the United States of America. Yes, he's the number one friend of Israel that I believe has ever sat in the White House. He's doing an amazing job for Israel and for the Jewish people around the world. But first and foremost, he's the president of the United States of America. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. He is our president, and he has to look out for America first on the America First agenda. And what he's doing with trillions of dollars in play on potential business for America. And he said very quite frankly, I'd like you to recognize Israel. I'd like you to make peace with Israel. I'd like you to do this with Israel. He never once threw Israel on the bus. And I believe it's a long chess play, and we got to be in the game for the long run to win it in the end. I think that's what he's putting in play.
That is the kosher guru, Gabriel Boxer. So interestingly enough, we've been focusing a lot on the show this week about Eric Adams, the mayor. He'll be marching on Sunday, another joke. And he put together this anti-Semite task force, 19 months later. And you sent me a one-word answer, DM'd it to me to Instagram. We text each other. I'm not going to say it because it was a curse.
No fines today on the radio.
Yeah, but that's where you are, Corey, and you do a lot of business in this city. Yeah. Thank God you're successful, and you spend money in the city. You live in New York City. But you've had enough of this guy, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it's really bad. And we talk about this constantly. I mean, the bar was so low coming out of the de Blasio era, and this guy got under it.
He did.
He got under it.
Or at least he's on the same bar.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible. You can never predict that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really terrible on so many levels, and there's so many other things going on that he does. What he does. And we always say this. He's of the moment. So whoever his audience is at the moment, he'll speak to it.
And
he'll make them happy.
He does a good job with that, right?
Right. He's a great orator in that
Yes,
regard.
yes.
He fumbles his words every now and again,
Yeah,
but he puts it out there.
We don't point that out, do we?
No, that never comes up, right? Pivot and shit. Well, but if we're sitting in this room, not this room, but if you're in a room and he knows they're writing checks, he's going to speak to that.
Yes.
And then when he goes to the room over there, which is opposite of the room he was in prior, he'll speak to that.
Right.
And that's.
See,
we can't do that.
No, and you know about writing checks. 2 years ago, you know this, Corey. So Danielle and I get invited, like the last day, I think it was Menashe, to come to Gracie Mansion. I had never been to Gracie Mansion. And at that point, I still liked Eric. It was before October 7th and all this nonsense. And I was honored, and so was Danielle. So it was a lovely evening. It was the very last day of Jewish Heritage Month. That's the really big party at Gracie Mansion. All the Jews show up. And we went, and I saw all these, famous Jews. I knew who they were. And they all wrote big checks. And Eric made a very impassioned speech like you're talking about, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The speech was pretty good. And you would have thought, watching that speech, that he really cares about the Jewish people. And now, of course, we've seen the last 19 months, he does a lot of talking and does nothing. Nothing. And if anybody would be irked by that, Gabe Boxer, it would be you.
It's very irked by that. And I have two kids. Listen, I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Queens. Love New York City. I have two kids in college in Manhattan. My son's in Yeshiva University up in Washington Heights. My daughter is in Stern, their girls program, with their dorm on 34th Street. And you know how many times I get a text from my daughter? There's a, what I call a pro-terror march around the block from her where she can't walk out of her dorm where they got to stay inside and no one's doing anything, and she feels terrorized in New York City, in the city that I love and grew up in and my parents still live. This is what my daughter has to live with on a daily basis, dorming and going to university in Manhattan.
Well, don't worry, because Moshe Davis and Menashe Shapiro and Lizzie Savetsky and Randy Maestro, they're going to come to our rescue now.
They're now curing anti-Semitism in New York City. It's cured. It's cured. I got like a vaccine. I'm good to go.
Exactly. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, spend the last couple of minutes. It's been a great half hour. We had Lisa Green, this new star out of New Jersey, ripping social influencers all day long, into K.T. McFarland and Curtis Sliwa, Joseph Tacopina. We close it out with two of my favorite people, Gabriel, the kosher guru boxer, and the great Corey Zelnick. All right, Corey, this is it. Knicks Celtics, no maybes, no ifs. Knicks move on to play Indiana, or are we facing that horrible Game 7 on Sunday?
It's going to be tough. We're gonna take it, and we get home. Then we get home court advantage with Indiana.
Big.
And then another one to think about: if Denver beats OKC, we get home court in the finals.
Wow! And that they're down to a Game 7 now because Denver won last night.
Exactly.
So a Nick win tonight, you may get home court advantage in the
Throughout.
next 2 series.
That's it.
Wow.
Game 7 would be Monday, not Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Really? Thank you,
Yes.
Lewis.
And
Thank you. Good,
Jason.
because I was worried that you and I would be marching on the parade game while the Knicks are on. I would hate that.
Well, then maybe I get another offer, not on a Friday night, that I go to courtside seats with Corey.
It's in Boston. I go to Boston on Monday.
I'll go up, no problem. Doesn't
So,
scare me.
You're going to go to Boston, right?
No, I'm actually going to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, you're going to be in Vegas. Okay, so you can bet the game. So I saw Scott Feltman last night, and we just had this great trip to Israel, and you were great. I mean, you were so nice to me and Danielle and Gabriel. You really were. I mean, the whole trip, whatever we needed, you were there. And I told Feltman that, and we'll do it again soon, obviously.
Obviously.
So the next trip, they're starting to plan already. But quickly on the way out, you and I also ran together in that ZOA coalition, and those elections are over.
The
So-
World Zionist Congress elections are over, and now there's actually, unfortunately, a lot of lawsuits going on behind the scenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just it feels like the presidential election.
Here,
Fake and manipulated voting. So let's see what happens.
So it turns out if our group, the coalition ZOA, did well, you and I are both in the top 15. We're going to go back to Israel very, very quickly.
back to Israel and to vote $1 billion a year for 5 years to vote on where that money is going, what's going on in the future of Judaism, literally the future of how to protect and how to help educate people about Judea and Samaria, anti-Semitism in America, a real anti-Semitism
Task force. Yeah.
and a lot going on. But we have to see how many seats they get and how it's going to be split up, because no one knows right now, Sid. It's all in the courts.
There you go.